Hello and welcome back to my Let's Build series. Last time we added a lot of structural features to the shell. This time we're going to keep going, we're going to keep adding, and we're going to see what we get by the end of the episode. The first thing I wanted to do was to work on the fan. I just wasn't happy with how I left it last time. It looked very basic, very bare bones, and I just needed to fill it out, add more detail, get it hanging properly off the ship, and just sort of, make it better in every way. On the sides of the fan, I wanted to add these chains to hold it to the ship. I wanted to have this sort of idea that the fan was held in a metal bracket attached to the bottom of the cabin. Now that the fan is looking 100 times better, I can move on to a part of the ship that I've neglected up until this point, and that's the back cabin. I wanted to make sure that it had a good, large window for the captain, that's me, to look out and enjoy the wonderful views of the beautiful sky here in Skysaga. And I also wanted to add the metal framework that appears on the rest of the ship onto the back as well. Now that the back of the cabin is looking decent, I decided to take away the flat edges on the inside of the fins by creating curves that went inwards to the ship. When I had finished this little task, it was time to go to a much bigger task. I was going to try and fill in the bottom of the deck of the very base of the ship. And I was also going to play around with the windows at the bottom and then add in the other floors as well. When I looked at the footage of me putting in the floors, I realised that I used quite a lot of wood. There was a lot of wood in this and not many other colours, so things were looking a bit bland. So in the future, I'm going to be changing it up when I do maybe a future episode that includes some furnishing. I might go inside the ship and add the furniture by hand as a slightly different format of the video. This will help to make things look a bit more intricate and nice on the eyes. This job of filling in the floors was quite tedious and took me quite a while. I just used normal wood, but for the main deck, I used a dark ink wood. Now it's time to design and decorate the front of the back cabin. I know I wanted 2 stairways leading up to the top deck and a nice place for a large door. For the final part of this episode, we're going to be building, or starting to build, the balloon above the airship. I wanted to get this in after I'd done the floors, so that I could make it feel more like an actual airship. In order to build the balloon, I'd have to use quite a unique block. It's called fabric bale. And they're not that hard to acquire, not as hard as you think. I've never seen one for sale by the vendors in the city of First Light, but if you go on any kind of normal forest adventure, you'll find that airships spawn, and you can just go to the balloon in that airship and mine all the fabric bale that you can imagine. It won't take you too long to get quite a lot, but you will have to sort of go into farm zone mode and dig away for a little while. When I pulled back from the ship, I realised that I had made a mistake. I'd actually made the balloon far too small. A ship of this size would need a really big balloon to lift it off the ground, and so I've got to make this balloon bigger. I think I'm going to do that in between now and the next episode, so when we come back for the next episode, you may notice that the balloon is quite a bit larger. I think progress is going really well on this build so far, and I can't wait to keep going. In the next episode, we'll be finishing the balloon, we'll be adding some detail like a metal framework around it, we'll be attaching it to the ship, we may even be adding windows to the ship as well, so see you next time.
Fast and Lowgy.